Hello, Dr. Harris. This is Mitchell again. This is my ID. Get it straight where you can see it. And as you can see, it's me. This is my informative speech. First of all, I'd like to explain something about like my eye contact. Here, when I look at the screen, it looks like I'm looking down, so I guess I need to just look straight into the camera. Okay. This is my informative speech. Hello, Dr. Harris, class. This is Mitchell Croxton, and this is my informative speech. My informative speech is going to be about the youth here in my neighborhood where I live in Greene County. There are a few problems that face these young guys, and it's not totally their fault. It's actually a product of the government, what we have, and actually the culture that we live in now in this country. But we're going to focus on two facts that I think that are of most importance here in the little neighborhood where I live. The number one factor I think here is unemployment. I live in Greene County, Alabama, and this county is in what's known as the Black Belt. The Black Belt is known for being poor. So what we have here is a unemployment rate that's double what the national average is, and in that you see the youth. It's actually having an adverse effect on what they think and how they actually go about living their normal lives. And in this first point, the unemployment, we find that it's not just the fact that these guys don't have jobs here. It's they lack the skills to go elsewhere also and have gainful employment. These skills can be brought about by certain programs that were around when I was a youth. For instance, when I was a teenager, there were youth programs with the programs where they had these skill training seminars during the summer at the city hall or at the local high school. They get young men from the neighborhood, put out flyers, and everybody knows that when this is going to happen and how and everything. So what we would have is a bunch of young guys with trained personnel, people that were skilled in certain areas, and they set up these different areas in the gym of the high school, and we did everything from woodwork to painting to electrical work. It was basically giving us a general feel for what you would be doing in each one of these fields. Programs like that, I think, would be beneficial in the neighborhood where I live. And second of all, it has to come from the government. The unemployment rate in the country is as high as it's been now, but in the area where I live at, every time the unemployment rate goes up in the country, that's going up double where I live, because there actually is no industry here. Once again, it goes back to the government. And the government can, in fact, install these educational programs and even build the centers where the educational programs will take place. But that goes back to, we need the government it needs to be done from the top down. And if we can get just a little bit of cooperation, the unemployment, though we can't do anything about it nationally here, but in the area where we live, we can strive to get these young guys ready in case there are jobs that open up, in case there is industry that comes in. You have some viable skill that you can use. And the second factor that I think is really hindering the youth here is the lack of mentors, lack of people to look up to. In the little area here where I live, maybe the past 5 or 10 years, it was pretty much drug ridden. Even though it's a rural town, drugs ran rampant here, and most of the guys were looking up to those guys because they were making money fast. Now, the option of making money fast and staying in school, studying, and going on to college or to a technical school and learning a trade, for most of these guys, the latter was just not an option. It was out there for them to have and to do, but they chose the former. So, as when I was growing up, once again, we'll go back to that, there were programs like the YMCM, Young Men's Christian Movement. These were programs that were geared toward getting the youth, the young men in the neighborhood, for it is in our society, in our little culture here in Greene County, it's been preached to you throughout your life. The man is the backbone of the community. The younger you start with, the better. And we had older guys that the pastor would bring in, or the principal, or the commission. A lot of these guys were baseball coaches or whatever, but they made these determinations that, okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help these young guys. So we had several programs, social programs like that, where the guys would actually see someone who works for the local electric company here, Mr. Ben Jackson, who lives maybe a quarter of a mile from where I live. There were a lot of people like him, the pastors and the county commissioners, who took time, out of their schedules, usually on a Tuesday, a Thursday, and a Saturday, and they take us on trips. And most of the time, it was more like a seminar type thing where you had different speakers on those days, and they were telling you, that you can be anything that you want to be. And it's really something that's lacking now, because the young men now that I see here every day, going to work and getting off and practicing my trade as a funeral director, is that they're dropouts, and their outlook on life is bleak. They only look as for today. They're not preparing for tomorrow, because they figure that there's nothing out there for them. But then with people like myself and the other men who have gone on to find some level of success out here in the real world working, it's our job to let them know that, it's not going to be easy. You're going to run into obstacles, and you have to stick with it. So basically, that's pretty much, I guess, in a nutshell, here the little community and the problems that I see, the two most important ones that I see with the youth, because if we don't take care of them, there is no future for our little small town, because the youth are the people who are going to be my age one day. So we have to do what we can now to ensure that we instill some of the things that were instilled in us, and give them an option and help them as much as we can, without handicapping them. Because there's a difference in helping and handicap. I would like to help them by showing them that you can do it, giving them the opportunity to listen to other people who made some success at their particular occupation. And maybe if it's only one or two guys, maybe those one or two guys in turn will do the same thing, and who knows, maybe we can turn this generation of thinking around. Thank you.